What up, B-Rob? It's Hoppy, just saying hello from the other dimension that I've been banished to because I got deplatformed off of everything. It's lonely over here. You know, I can say hi to my neighbors and stuff like that, but that's about it. There's nobody else to talk to. Everybody's on their damn phone, where they're still on Twitter, but I got kicked. God damn it. But I tell you what, I've fallen in love with a Houstonite, a Houstonian. What the fuck y'all call somebody from Houston? A Houstoner? A Houston? A Houston? A Houston? Are you Houstonish? Well, fuck, I don't know. So anyway, her name's Lindsay Mulinazzi. I guess she's Italian or something. She was just on the Steve Harvey show. And, man, I want to fuck a muscle bitch. I swear to God I do. Just a straight fucking muscle bitch. She could be my dominatrix any day. But I'm trying to get a hold of her. I sent her an email and all that. So we'll see what happens. But, you believe, I had a job at the pastry chef and at the finest fine dining place in Kentucky, more awards than anybody. Got to cook for Reese Witherspoon and Tom Jurich and Patino, all kinds of motherfuckers. Man, fuck, I left. I ain't gonna say where I'm at, what brand, but I'm at a shitty restaurant now. I swear to God, I'm making 80 cents less. 80 cents an hour less than to do nothing. I'm doing nothing. I love it. I love it. I ain't got no responsibilities. But that's fucked up that I was doing my skilled craft for 80 cents more an hour. Nobody wants to pay nobody nothing. So if ain't nobody paying nothing, I ain't doing nothing. Fuck it. But, so I'm chilling. But, shit, I'm gonna go smoke one and go on into work because I ain't got to do nothing really. Love y'all. Just want to say hi from the other dimension, where people have been kicked off the internet. Peace.
You are now listening to Random Ramblings with Yay! Yeah!
What up, everybody? This your boy B-Rob, and I'm back with another edition of the Random Rambles with Rob podcast. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you, the listener, for coming back each and every week, or however you listen to podcasts. If you're a first-time listener, I'd like to thank you oh so very much for giving my show a try. And if somebody referred you to me, give them a crisp high five if you're in their vicinity. If not, just send them a text with a high five emoji. Or if you high class and got the iPhone with the face emoji bullshit or whatever, make you a face emoji like I did. I disguised myself as a bear when my daughter was sick, and I sent her a video, told her to take her medicine and everything, and now she won't stop playing with my motherfucking phone. So that was my fault. But I have guests. See, I put this on there because it's more than one. I have with me in the studio virtually Pedro and Frankie from the freaking, I was about to say the No Redeeming Qualities podcast.
Oh, damn.
Because it's kind of the same thing. It's kind of like the same thing, but it's not. It's the freaking, you introduce your show because I'm fucking up. I fucked it up real bad.
Here we go. You're killing us. It's your boys, Pedro and Frankie from Nothing Special Podcast.
There it is. That's what fucked me up the whole thing. Because it's the N and the no and the, oh man. Shout out to Zip and Bob over there. I apologize for that. I'm not editing it out too because I don't do shit like that. But hey, man, it's great to have you here. I appreciate you gentlemen giving me your time and everything. I'm sorry for fucking up your name of your show. But what's happening? What's cracking?
Much, man. We appreciate you, inviting us. Sorry it took us a while to get on here. I know you've been wanting us to come on for a couple of weeks now. We just finally had time, getting everything together. So
yeah, I mean, I know how it is when you're high class. I mean, you up here drinking your wine with your pinkies out and shit and everything.
Oh, no.
Pinkies. It's one person drinking a drink over here. It's him.
Nah, see, I see what you're doing off camera. You're just kind of passing it back and forth under the thing.
Yeah.
I dip out of frame. I take a sip and I come back.
But
barrel aged. I forgot what the name of this one is.
See, just like I forgot the name of your podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
happens to the best of us. But for sure, man. Thanks for having us on. You were talking about first time listeners. I checked out a little bit of your latest episode with the guy with the Funko Pops.
Oh yeah, Ben.
Yeah.
Did you get one made of yourself, or is he gonna help you out, or what?
Yeah, I'm gonna hit him up. I mean, I need to hurry up and jump on that pretty soon because he's starting to get some steam behind him. I think at the comicbook.com or whatever, or IGN, one of them news outlets was covering one of his creations and everything. So I need to start hitting him up before he get too mainstream.
He got that rambling with Rob Bump.
See, yeah,
there it is.
Why you bullshitting? I was gonna play that. I was gonna use that as a ploy to market my show, but unfortunately, the article came out before his episode came out, so I couldn't use that. And then they got your boy on Instagram. I don't know if you've seen him, Black Rambo. Dude, they got all the guns and everything.
Oh no!
Oh yeah,
yeah. But I used to serve with him in the Marine Corps, so I got him on the show, and I think a couple days after his interview came out, his shit went from like 86,000 to now he like over 200,000 followers on Instagram. So I was like, yeah, that's when I used that. I was like, yeah, see, I did that for you. I hooked you up.
So we'll go from 150 to 180.
Yeah.
See?
That's our numbers right now.
There you go. I mean, Instagram is kind of fickle anyway. I mean, if you're not doing something like every 5 fucking minutes, I mean, because I went from, well, I got like 1,100 followers right now, but it took like a long ass time to get there because I started the account in 2009. I didn't really start using it like for proper until I started this podcast, but it'll go like, all right, I got 100 followers. Cool. And then the next day it'll be like 38. I was like, how the fuck that happened?
It's on that real like, I'm gonna follow you so you can follow me, and then you follow them. It's like, psych.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing about Instagram. What's fucked up about it? I mean, they got cool features and everything. I think it's about to knock Snapchat off the map, and Vine is already gone. But it's just like they don't have that one simple fucking feature. You know, it's to where like if I follow somebody, I know I follow them because the box is highlighted saying that I follow them, but it doesn't show that they follow me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and so it's just weird as fuck.
You have to go to your followers. I know, man. Like, I've been doing this shit like where I've gone through. I'm like, all right, time to like my monthly sort of clean out of like all these people that I've followed, so to ensure that we're getting some love back. And it's like, nah, we definitely are not.
Yeah, and then that even doing that is a fucking hassle because they're not in alphabetical order or nothing like that. They're not in the order that they followed you in. So it's like if somebody followed me today and I go to my follower list to see, it wouldn't be that day. It would be like way down at the bottom. And I'm scrolling. I was like, what was that motherfucking name? I don't even remember shit. And I'm scrolling and I'm scrolling and I'm scrolling and I'm scrolling and I can't find this motherfucker. What it basically come down to, you got to get like a third party app to fucking sort all that bullshit out.
Yep.
Which I did. Shout outs to what app is this? I'm gonna bring
you found one that actually works.
Bump. Yeah, it's what is this? It's Insta Tracker.
Nice.
So that's INS Tracker. Boom. It actually works. It's free. You can pay premium shit to like find. You can see. The premium, all it is just shows people that likes your shit more often than everybody else, and like your admirers, people who go view your profile and your pictures, but they don't actually do shit. So they show you stuff like that if you pay for it. But I ain't about that life. I just want to unfollow these punk ass motherfuckers that be like, I'll follow you, and then they don't do shit.
That follow for follow.
Yeah. Oh, punk ass motherfuckers. Yeah, but anyway, this is not an Instagram podcast.
No, definitely not.
We get derailed so easily.
Yeah. But I want to know more about you gentlemen. I mean, how did you two come to be, buddies and chums and whatnot and hanging out and all this stuff?
Oh man, it's
swapping wine under the table.
It's the classic tale of I just basically made Frankie become my friend. And I basically forced him into a friendship is essentially what happened. we met at 4 a.m. at an IHOP because we were going to college.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, for sure, man. So I get a text from a college friend of mine, and she's like, "Oh, we're going to IHOP. It's 4 a.m." I'm like, "All right, I'm there." So I get there, and there's some girls sitting at one side of the table. I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna sit on this side with the girls, see what's up." Somebody takes my seat. I end up having to sit next to this guy. And the second I sit down, he's like, "Oh, are you going to eat that sausage?" And he just takes it off my plate. Yeah. So already that's strike one. Yeah. So, but eventually you forget things. And we ended up hanging out together out when we finished college. We both came back to Houston. And we just been hanging out ever since. And one day decided, let's kick this off and try to get a little podcast going.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. I remember thinking, like, I don't know, I've always kind of wanted to do sort of like a YouTube video channel or, I'm not even going to lie. When Vine was popping, I tried to get on Vine for a bit.
Shit.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
And I have not touched TikTok and I never will. That shit's like.
No, don't do it.
No, I'm not. And, but when I started listening to podcasts a lot more and then, it's been what, a year and a half, 2 years?
Yeah, about like a year and a half since we kicked it off.
And I just basically called Frankie up. I was like, "Hey man, why don't we just start a podcast?" And and as well as us, the first episode we didn't even have a name.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We were going off of the name Test Run Podcast. And then I think it wasn't until I was thinking about it. I kept thinking about it for like a week, and then I finally said, "You know what, like, nothing special. That's exactly what we are. We're nothing special.
Keep the expectations where we can manage them."
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Where'd y'all go to college at?
Oh, we both went to A&M.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Texas A&M.
So, let's even wind it back a little further or whatever. Obviously, that's where your paths ran into each other at that one fateful morning at the motherfucking IHOP and everything, Waffle House and shit. But, what steered y'all down the path to choose A&M for college?
You want to go first?
All right, fuck it. So growing up, my dad had like a little piece of property where he had some goats and some sheep and stuff like that.
Sound like he was a bad man.
Yeah, for sure. And so I always liked animals growing up, and I used to work at a vet clinic when I was younger, and I thought, I want to be a vet. So, they got a good animal science program down there at A&M. So that's where I applied, and I went there. Obviously, the vet thing didn't pan out, but, I still had a good time, and I, got some good job now.
Yeah, cool. What about you, my man?
For me, man, I wanted to go to UT. I wanted to go to UT to actually study film. But that talk with my parents didn't go exactly as planned. And so whenever I talked with them, they were kind of like, we appreciate you talking to us and we support you in your dreams, but we're paying for your college. So you're going to go to A&M. That pretty much led me down the path of Texas A&M. And then I graduated with a technology management degree. So I'm into computers and everything. And that's pretty much what I do right now for a living. I'm in IT. So.
Okay.
Panned out pretty well.
So you repair, all kind of stuff like that?
I used to be heavily into just like support. I used to just, take the users, I guess, like machines and repair the computers, swap out RAM, hard drives, everything like that. And then I moved up.
RAM and goats.
It all comes full circle.
See, yeah, that's
the link.
I think you're uncovering the real connection here.
Yeah, that's the link. And then I moved up, so now I'm into more of like application support. So there's one, I support one application only, which is a lot better in my opinion.
Sweet. I might have to holler at you later because I got a piece of shit computer right here.
All right, yeah.
But do you think that's weird or whatever? Obviously you got a good friendship, you got a good thing going with your podcast and everything. what if you would have went to UT? You think this would have happened? You know, I mean,
I think about that a lot.
Me personally, probably not. I feel like his kind of came to me with the idea. Like I only personally got into podcasts like a year and a half ago as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I've heard about them for whatever years and years, and I think it's something that's kicked off pretty big in the recent years. But he came to me about it, and it's always been his kind of thing to get out there and make content and stuff.
Yeah.
So me personally, probably not if he hadn't come to me about it.
Yeah, but we would have never met.
Yeah.
No, that's well. I mean, either way,
Definitely.
You would have never snatched that sausage off your plate.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, exactly.
That was your Lady in the Tramp moment, man. He pushed the meatball over and everything.
Yeah. What about you, man? How did you kick this off?
I wanted to write. I wanted to write a book, but my brain doesn't work that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, why don't I take the content that I would use for this book and just, talk about it in front of a microphone? That way, people can hear the way I think rather than, try to imagine what I'm trying to put down on paper.
Trying to interpret it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was like, I could just tell you, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And then, I don't have that type of attention span. I got the ADHDs or whatever. So I to sit there and be like, backspace. Fuck all that. I just turn this motherfucker on and say whatever comes out.
Yeah, man, that's a good way to go for it. That's how we don't really plan too much before we get on the mic. So
famously,
we just get on and talk whatever shit like we come up with.
Yeah, pretty much. And I know too. That's I guess that's kind of the beauty about podcasts, right? To where you just, as long as you're willing to kind of host a show, kind of talk about something, there's always going to be some listeners there that'll kind of find you. And, of course you got to put in the work to kind of
get out there.
Yourself, promote yourself as much as you can. But, I think that's really what drove me to podcasts, is because I used to listen a lot to, I was about to call him Kevin James. He never did a podcast.
No.
See, we all Kevin fucking up names and shit tonight.
Kevin Smith.
There you go.
Yeah. So I used to listen a lot to his podcast, and I remember one episode in particular, he was just kind of like going on this like really inspirational rant, and it was just like, man, for everybody that's trying to be creative or anybody that's trying to kind of put your name out there, I mean, if you just have a microphone, some headphones, like any kind of recording, if you have a cell phone, you can start a podcast and just put your shit out there, and you're gonna get somebody to listen to it, and just keep going with it. And I think that kind of is what pushed me to kind of do this, to start this. And it's been a good little ride. I know we've been on a short hiatus as of late because with the holidays. And
this guy's been moving into like a new apartment.
Yeah,
so we're relocating for now.
Yeah, and we got a new set going on right now, and so season 2 of Nothing Special is going to be coming up pretty soon. So.
Okay.
We're using this episode as a launch pad.
Oh, okay. Now, I've known a lot of podcasts to do it, season type or whatever, to where, they do it for a couple of weeks, take a break and everything. And, then they start it up again. I mean, what's, your reasoning behind that? Cause I mean, I never really thought to ask anybody, but since you do it that way, I mean, I like to pick your brain on it.
I think, to be honest with you, we started doing, I felt like every other month or so, we would try to add a little bit more to our show. Mm-hmm. At one point we were doing just audio, and then we moved on to, hey, let's start doing videos. Mm-hmm. Let's start recording. Let's start our own YouTube channel, and we're going to put our episodes out there so people can watch.
Yeah.
And I think that added another element to it. And so once we reached that point, and we started seeing some support come from that end, I said, you know what, I kind of want to do a little bit more, but just the time and the resources, it just didn't match up. And especially because, I was kind of moving at the time. So I was like, all right, it's getting a little too hectic right now. Let's take a quick break, and we're going to come back. We're going to come back with more stuff. So we have a couple of ideas in the pipeline, and we're going to be doing a little more streaming. A big part of our show is we love to talk about video games. We love to talk about movies. And so we do have a Twitch. We do have a Twitch. We do have a Twitch. Yeah, we have
up all the names.
Yeah, I know. Fuck. We have a Twitch channel already, and so we're gonna start utilizing that a little bit more. Just kind of, expanding the Nothing Special network.
Yeah, and I think like the season format could kind of like, it's not too tiring to do a podcast, but I think it's good to have a little break to maybe like, all right, you recharge, refresh, and then we'll come at it like in a month, a couple months, and like hit it again, kind of be back in the zone. So I think that kind of gives the time to like renew and refresh and come back.
Yeah. Also, this guy lives like an hour away.
I do live an hour away. So.
He lives an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So I mean that's always for him to come and record a show. And I mean, I give it up to him because he would come consistently every single week. And even though we're best friends, I know he's like, I'm driving this shit I'm making this trip every week, I think just the season format really does give us a little bit breather, a little breather, and allows us to kind of come up with more ideas just to expand the show.
Okay. Yeah. Ever thought about stacking?
Just do like a couple episodes at a time or what?
Yeah.
Honestly, no.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't thought about it.
I've thought about it, but that would require us to. I mean, our episodes are long too. Like our average episodes is probably like an hour and 30 to hour and 45. So to stack, we'd be straight recording for like almost 6 hours.
Yeah,
it's like 6 or 8 hours.
Marathoning and shit.
It's that. I think we do a lot of we try to do like whatever weird stories of the week we found, or kind of like, this is some movie news or some video game news, and we kind of like to dissect it. I think that gives us a chance like every week to come with like, this is the freshest stuff from this week.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is this week.
I got you. Okay. Do y'all ever incorporate guests and everything? Because I mean, I haven't really dove headfirst into your show yet.
Yeah. That was that's actually another thing that we started doing for the longest time. I think the first like 35 episodes or so, it was just Frankie and I, and that was great. But then that's when we kind of started incorporating more guests, and we've done collaborations with Southside. Southside Collection, shout out to those guys. I mean, they've definitely helped us out a lot. And then we've also had a couple of our personal friends come on the show, and they've always been some of our top hits. Our top shows really. The last one we did was with a friend of ours, is Robert, and he's actually in Europe. He's been in Europe for a year, and so the episode we did with him was actually going over his trip and what he plans to do out there. And it was just kind of us like shooting the shit and reminiscing about some memories we had together. And it's getting close to that time to where he's going to come back, and we're going to do like a follow-up episode in season 2.
He's essentially doing like a world around the world type thing.
Yeah.
Well, he's been in Europe, and he's going to dip down to Africa, come back up to Asia, and then.
Yep.
So he's gonna be gone a year.
Just backpacking.
When we get back, we'll get the recap episode.
Yeah, and he's been spreading the good word of Nothing Special, because we actually gave him a stack of stickers.
Oh yeah, you just slap them up somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, everywhere that it's appropriate. Because I was like, man, I don't want to see this shit on the palace, like the Queen's Palace.
Like, I don't know, I'd like that. Like maybe hit one on the Eiffel Tower, hit one on like the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Yeah, no, it's just like, hey man, wherever it's appropriate, just like slap this on. And so he's been giving us pictures of it. I mean, he's doing a great job.
Yeah, I need to do that more often. I go to all the places that I frequent and shit, like Walmart.
Yeah, yeah, like Walmart. Yeah, dude. Oh man, I love those. I love those vlogs you're putting on Instagram.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm working up to it. I mean, I've had 2 tests in it already, to where know I'm doing the interviews in Walmart, with local people.
Oh wow.
So I'm looking forward to doing that. I already got one candidate that's down to do that shit, so I'm trying to hook something up with him. Last time I did it was with a comedian local to here, her name Foxy, and my son was holding the camera. This dude, 15 years old, and then me and her was drunk and shit. So what an example for my son.
Yeah, exactly. It's
for the show.
Yeah, definitely. Do you ever get kind of like called out by some of the Walmart employees by like filming in there at all or anything?
No, not at all. I almost felt like I got in a fight with one, because
really,
like I just had the camera up. I wasn't filming him per se, but he was in frame, and he did like some crazy ninja shit. He was just like, woo, trying to like cover his face and shit. And he's like, were you recording me? I was like, No. I mean, I was, but I wasn't doing it intentionally. I just like, you hold it in front of you and so you can see what I'm seeing, and he just happened to be there and he was just like, what the fuck? And then my camera is delayed and lagged like a motherfucker. So, I mean,
God damn.
It's like I'm miming right now. I'm looking at myself doing the shit that I just did.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you're seeing that too, right?
Yeah.
That's why I keep thinking like you're saying something, but I think it's just lagged.
Yeah.
I'm looking like a kung fu movie and shit. See, look, I just scratched my face like 5 minutes ago, and I just scratched my face just now.
Because I was wondering, I was like, oh man, because okay, so a constant issue that I currently have right now is I have a MacBook, and it's a MacBook Pro.
Exactly, same thing I'm on right now.
It's a MacBook Pro from like 2015, though.
Yeah, mine's from 2012.
Yeah. So I think this is mine's only 2013. So it's getting to it hasn't died yet.
Oh
but man, I'm scraping it.
Mine has died. I resuscitated this motherfucker.
Oh wow!
Like cause smart me, I took it to Afghanistan, but I don't think this was anything that really, what took it over the top. It's just old in the motherfucker. And then at a time, I was doing the torrent thing. So, I mean, who knows what's in this motherfucker?
What kind of residual damage?
Who knows who's in it?
Yeah. Because there was a point in time to where the trackpad is the battery on the inside, because the battery is under the trackpad. So the battery started bubbling up and shit, and it made my trackpad
just like rising up.
Yeah, it was like at a 45 at one point.
Yeah, and so since it's old, like there'll be times where we're recording an episode, and sometimes we do it through GarageBand.
Yeah,
and sometimes the cursor will just keep moving, but we'll see nothing being recorded.
Yeah,
and we're doing a video at the same time, so it's kind of hard because I have to pause the video, pause this, make sure we're recording. Okay, everything's good, and then I have to sync up and slap my hands.
Yeah,
and all that shit. So it's nuts sometimes.
Because like with this right now, if I leave, now that I turn the computer off, I turn it on, and I'm good to record. So we're recording right now. But like, say after we finish, and I close Skype and everything, and I just leave the computer sitting here, not doing nothing at all. If I come back to this motherfucker to try to edit the episode, it's like the computer's on delay like my camera right now.
Oh, okay.
So like, I'll press the play button, then it'll show like a ghost of the cursor passing over the buttons and shit. Then the play button will go.
It's just like, whoa.
He's
what the fuck you trying to do?
So and then I've reconstructed this motherfucker. So I busted it open. And first thing that I got out of there was all the Afghani dust that settled at the bottom of this bitch. So I blew all that shit out of there. Had to rip out the hard drive because that bitch died. So I put a new solid state up in that bitch, and then I put like 2 brand new sticks of RAM in this motherfucker. I mean, so it'll run. I mean, it'll turn on. It'll do what I need to do. But I still have these issues because I guess it's like, this shit is too new. Fuck.
Yeah.
I don't understand how this shit works inside me.
You're like, I would love to buy a new one, but then when I look at the prices, I'm like, oh God, like, why, what the hell?
I'm seeing that lagged thing that you just did where you're like scratching yourself.
I'm about to turn my motherfucking camera
Rod's fiending.
Oh, Joe Rogan, I smoke rocks.
Yeah.
See, there it is right there. See, I'm doing it now.
There.
This could be a whole podcast about that.
Hell yeah, man. You gotta start doing video, I'm telling you.
Look, here you go, watch. Yeah, but that's why I don't do video, because I have this laptop and I have all the same issues that I'm talking about, even trying to do video. And then I have another HP laptop that I was using, but like the sound quality on that HP laptop is not as good as the MacBook Pro. And at the same time, when I try to do video on the HP, it's just like, nah, dog, this shit ain't working like that. Cause I had to reconstruct that motherfucker too. I had to do the exact same thing. I put new RAM in that bitch. I put a whole nother hard drive in that motherfucker, and it's the same thing. If I let it sit too long, they'll be like, hey man, I'm gonna assume that you're not doing nothing no more, so I'm gonna just start fucking up right here.
Right here. Yeah. But like what I found that works for us, I guess like some of the equipment that we use is to record the audio, because we do everything separately. We record the audio separately from the video.
Yeah.
So the audio, like I just said, we have 2 of these microphones, and that goes directly straight into GarageBand. And then for our video portion, it's literally just it's a GoPro Hero 6. And that's doing the video on its own thing. And then I basically put those together, in post, just editing that. And that's kind of what takes the longest. Yeah. Especially with this, with this old ass laptop, I'm just kind of like, it takes me probably like a day to render an entire video.
Yeah, exactly.
One whole day. It's insane.
I mean, what I've been doing as far as video editing, I've just been using my motherfucking iPad, dog, because my iPad at this point runs better than this motherfucker. Yeah. The iPad has been going pretty strong. So I'm knocking on wood because I'm talking all this flip-florin and filth in front of my motherfucking laptop, and he was like, "Okay, motherfucker, wait till this episode is over." But yeah, I've just been using LumaFusion on my laptop, man, and that thing does everything. It does chroma key and all that shit on there. So I just been doing all my post video edits on my iPad. And then with the new Pro, it's just been working smooth as shit. Because before I had a Mini, which I don't recommend high speed editing a video on, but the new Pro and the one they came out with before the new Pros, the new iPad that works with the Apple Pencil. Oh, yeah. The bitch was just like $379. I was like, thank you. Let me get that. So I started editing on there and it worked pretty good. And then the new Pro came out and I had an opportunity to get it with the new Apple Pencil and all that shit. So I got that. And I was like, thank you. Appreciate it. Damn. And then I passed the other one to my wife. And okay. Because she was talking about, she's like, I want the big iPad. Well, I was like, well, I want the big iPad. And we both can have the big iPad. So I'll get the big iPad and you can have this iPad. Yeah. Which the motherfucker is sitting in the corner between the bed and the nightstand right now. I don't even use the motherfucker. It's just like, she wants shit just because, I got the shit because, like, I got, shout out to Studio Headphones. They sponsored the show and everything. And they send me headphones. And then, like, I want to give them away on the show. She was like, but I want some headphones. I was like, you got 3 motherfucking pairs of headphones over there that I never see you wear, not once. So why you want my shit? I'm trying to make fans and friends and shit. And I don't have nothing to barter with because you're taking it all and putting it in the corner and I can't use it.
I saw you took a couple to the meet and greet.
Yeah, right? Yeah. I took a Deadpool pop vinyl. I took a 4K Fire Stick and a pair of studio headphones, and I gave all that shit away.
You should have went.
See? Yeah, I would have been in those contests.
Could have got my dad a gift.
Yeah, see? And that was the thing, though. It's just like I didn't know what to expect, so I brought the shit just because. I have stuff for me, so it's just extra at this point that what they send me. And I was just like, one of the podcasters there from the Little Texas Pod or something like that. He was like, my headphones broke. I was like, well, here you go, dog. Here's some headphones.
Oh, nice.
And then I went to the Monday Night Raw.
I did see that.
Yeah, I went there and I was trying to give away a free ticket and a set of headphones and nobody bid on the shit or whatever. Damn. So I'm sitting in there like, okay, I got a free ticket for somebody that is sitting on my counter up here now that nobody came got. I got these headphones and then I met up with some people there that I was sitting with and I was just like, you need some headphones? Here you go. Just take these shits.
Yeah.
How was that? Like, I've never been to a wrestling event. Is it pretty fun? You've been to WrestleMania, right? Or something? No?
I didn't go. So I used to go to, I used to be really into WWE, but like back in the day, like Stone Cold, The Rock, Mankind, like that sort of attitude era.
Yeah.
That was my like prime wrestling fandom. And during that time, I went to 3 Monday Night Raws. And then I had tickets. My dad surprised me with tickets to go to WrestleMania with The Rock and Stone Cold at the Astrodome.
Yeah.
Which is like heralded as like one of the best like WrestleManias to have gone to. And I didn't go.
Why not?
I think I got like food poisoning.
Oh.
Yeah. and I could not make it. I was so pissed, man. I was heartbroken.
Dog, I would have made it. I would have been in there with a black trash bag, like, whoa.
That's exactly what I said. Whoa. Yeah, that's exactly what I've said to this day. I was just like, oh God, like, if only.
I wasn't allowed. My parents didn't really let me watch it a lot when I was younger.
Yeah.
But thankfully, and I told you, so when SmackDown came to UPN, that's when I finally was able to tune in, and they would take GED classes. So Thursday, they'd be heading to a GED class, and I'd be like, oh, y'all study up, have a good time. As soon as they left, SmackDown for 2 hours. SmackDown. Like when they came back, I'd be like asleep, act like nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good ass time.
Watching all them puppies.
Yeah.
No wonder you was asleep by the time they got home. You just like tapped out.
I was all tuckered out.
Yeah.
But like, I've been going, the opportunities were real slim when I was younger because they rarely came to Lake Charles or whatever, because Lake Charles is like, meh. But now that we got casinos and everything out there, everybody want to come spend money. So they come a little more often. I think they come once a year. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't live there no more, so it doesn't really benefit me. But here in Houston, they come all the goddamn time.
Yeah, they really do. They come all the time.
They'll be back in February for Elimination Chamber.
Damn, really?
Yep.
Jesus. Yeah, that's always, I don't know. That's always been weird because I remember when Elimination Chamber was just like the match.
Yeah.
And then after I stopped watching, that's when it was like, oh, fuck that. Like, Elimination Chamber is about to get its own pay-per-view. And I was like, damn, all right, I guess so.
Yeah.
And I think Hell in a Cell has one now, right?
Yeah. Hopefully they'll be doing away with that pretty soon. I mean,
that's what I've heard.
The match can stick around, but not the whole event surrounded it or whatever, because it's not really needed.
Yeah. Yeah. Do they still got, what are the ones that do they still have Backlash?
No. That's long since gone away.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites. Only because, like, I remember
the little scaffold, the hooks, and everything.
Yeah, the hooks. Yeah, dude, the hooks was my shit. I loved that as a kid.
Yeah, because I remember Jeff Hardy was swinging. He swung on one and drop kicked somebody, and he jumped off one another year and everything. I miss that type of thing because they used to make creative sets, and now they just got big bright LED boards. Yeah, that's all they got. And then especially now, they can't use chairs, I hear.
Oh, they can't?
Nuh-uh.
Why not? There's just
concussions.
Oh, well, they still use chairs. It's just none to the head.
None to the head.
So they can still do the whole, like, put your leg in it and, like, try to step on it where it makes it look like a snappy leg.
Yeah.
Kitty. Oh, God, he got your jacket.
Oh, man.
He's thumping your jacket.
Pedro's cat is having sex with my jacket, apparently.
Oh, yeah. I just seen him run away.
Yeah. I could hear that. We could hear the cat like having a good time in the other room, and my jacket's. I guess I have to watch that.
Yes, I would hope so.
Yeah, man. I'm seeing a lot of like what are these? Some movies over here in the corner. Some games, maybe.
Oh yeah, all this is movies. I'm in the movie room right now.
Oh, okay. You see, we talk a lot of movies here, so it's running. Like, you see any of those new movies that come out?
Oh yeah, I just bought a couple. And here we got Nosy Rosie over here trying to come on camera. You're going to see her here in a second because I was late. See? There you go.
We saw her picking out.
Yeah,
hey, it's taking the best movies.
I'm on TV.
Yeah. And she did that like 5 minutes ago, so now she's still moving around.
Oh, okay.
All right. Yeah. Well, TV that way. Yeah, she gone. So. All right, yeah. Thanks for your 5 seconds of fame. Close the door behind you, please.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, do you primarily pick up like Blu-rays? Or are you going for everything? Blu-rays, DVDs?
Well, I mean, I have DVDs, and if I had the opportunity to upgrade to Blu-ray, that's what I would do. I try to find a pawn shop that still take them because, I mean, that's few and far in between that people still taking DVDs for money, which, I mean, I don't want any money because, like, the reason I'm going to the pawn shop in the first place is try to find more Blu-ray.
Yeah, exactly.
So I remember when I was in North Carolina, I think that was the bulk of the collection was made because I had a place that would realize that I'm buying from them, so they would give me a lot of store credit with the stuff that I would trade in because they knew I was buying more shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't really have a place like that now. I mean, they got a pawn shop not too far from here. They do Blu-rays, 3 for $10. So
okay.
That's kind of what I do now. I'll try to fill in what spots I have missing, like in certain collections or whatever. So like if they have like Death Race, like 3, 4, and 5, I'll get them shits just because I have Death Race, 1 and 2.
Yeah. Exactly.
Then they're 3 for $10. So who gives a fuck, right?
Yeah.
And then, I'll just take the DVDs that I just upgraded and I'll take them to the pawn shop and fucking sell them back so I can get more Blu-rays.
Yeah, I mean, I collect a lot of movies. I collect a lot of video games, and shit. I have basically my own Netflix because like one of my shelves I just have completely full of just movies, and a lot of it though is just old DVDs that I've just collected like since I was a kid.
Yeah,
and I've recently like a couple of my uncles and aunts, they've completely done away with other DVDs, and they're like, hey, we know you like this shit, so
yeah, here you go.
So they gave me like 4 big boxes of like DVDs, and so I brought them back here, picked out of the 4 boxes, I picked out maybe like 20 movies, and then the rest I took it to Movie Exchange.
Yeah.
And I think the total I got for
$5.68.
Yeah. The total I got was like $5. I was like, all right, dope. I guess I'll buy Rumble in the Bronx. Like Jackie Chan. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what sucks about it, man. Because I mean, the exchange rate for them shits is not really good.
Horrible.
That's why, like, I feel like we get like these big collections these days. Because I have tons of like Xbox 360 games, Wii games. They just sit there because I know if I take them in, it's like, oh, here, 25 cents. I'm like, well, I might as well keep it.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Have a little collection. It's just not good for my hoarding, like, characteristics.
Well, as far as video games go, the only physical copies I'll buy are annuals. So, like, I get the WWE games every year. I get the 2K games every year. So, like, I'll buy those physically. Because I know when the next one come out, I just trade this bitch in and get the new one.
Oh, okay.
But like everything else, I try to get digital, because I mean, those are the ones that I wind up hanging on to because I don't buy too many games because I know like replayability and whatnot. So like I'll get Tomb Raider because I know I'll keep that motherfucker. Yeah. Because I go through and try to do all the side quests and, find all the caves and the temples and all that shit. I'll keep something like that. But like, I don't know, like the Batman games that came out, I beat them shits to a pulp, and then I was just like, I'm done with this. Let's just, can I get rid of this now? Get something else.
You play that new Tomb Raider that just came out, the Shadow of the Tomb Raider? Not
yet. That's the only one I haven't played yet.
Man, I feel bad for it because I played the first one and the second one. Those were incredible. But this one happened to come out just like under the radar. Yeah, it's just like poof. Because Red Dead came out. When Red Dead came out, that's a wrap. Like,
Red Dead
that's consumed everything.
Yeah, it was in the shadow of the Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah. I think Spider-Man too. So
yeah, Spider-Man as well. Which I don't think I'll play that one. I don't think I'm gonna play that one.
You should check it out, man.
No, you should definitely check that one out.
I don't know, because I don't really believe in the Redbox thing, but I think I just might try it on Redbox if I get a coupon. I'm not gonna pay for it.
You might get one of those discs. Like I hear, like a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
Copy, like take a print of the disc and like cut it out on a piece of paper and put that in.
Sorry, motherfuckers, man.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. You can't have anything nice.
Yeah, but it's a good place to buy. I feel like I bought a couple games from the Redbox machines.
Really?
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah, like it'll be like one of those annual games like you were talking about. Mm-hmm. And it's just like the next year, they're like $5, $10, something like that.
Yeah, even that, because like what I like to do, I download the Redbox app because they got the locator feature on there to show you all the red boxes that are around you, and then within it you can go and browse their selection for each kiosk, all the used games that they're selling and the used movies that they're selling. I don't really go for the movies, but I'll get the games because like my kid, he got an Xbox as well and he'll take all the physical games. He don't give a fuck. So I'll be like, oh shit, I can get Mafia 3 for fucking $10. I'll stop by and buy that shit.
Yeah.
So like he like freaking what's that shit? Get Out of Hell, goddamn Saints Row.
Saints Row.
Yeah, so I found that shit for like $3, and I was like, okay, here you go. Throw it in the room, and you just jump on it. Games.
I remember when Saints Row 1 came out for the 360 and PS3, I'm guessing, but I remember that like blew my mind because it was essentially like a Grand Theft Auto clone. Mm-hmm. But the one thing that they introduced was that you can hold up a liquor store. Mm-hmm. And I remember like that shit blew my mind as a kid. I was like, holy shit, like this is the future. And now you can like do that in any game.
Yeah, well, like that's what deterred me from playing any Saints Row game. But they figured, I believe from what I've seen, the evolution of the Saints Row franchise is just like they realized that like, hey man, Grand Theft Auto is this whole big massive thing. We can't really compete with that. Exactly. So we might as well just turn this bitch on his head and just do this crazy thing. Because I know, because I know the first Saints Row was about gangs, you know, it was two rival gangs, you know, fighting for territory and everything. Now they carry that over through these other games, and I know now they're like the gang leader is like a CEO or something. They got superpowers and all kind of shit. Mm-hmm. I think one of the games I was watching my son play, motherfucker was running around with a big floppy dildo and shit.
That's the one I played. It's like I didn't play the old ones. That's the only one I played, and that's the only thing I remember about it was that like it was way over the top. Yeah, you know, like GTA is a little more grounded. But, you know, Saints Row, there's like aliens and shit. It's a whole thing. Yeah,
they're just having fun with that game.
Yeah, they're just like, well, fuck it, we just do this.
I mean, yeah.
Have you ever, do you have an app that sort of takes, like a catalog of all your movies?
Yes, I do. It's right here on my phone.
Which one do you have?
I have, what is this?
Because I have one for my games that I keep, and it's called CLZ.
Oh, I got My Movies.
Oh, okay, My Movies.
I might have to check this out. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, so like I've cataloged all my games except for the ones that I bought for Black Friday because I went stupid on Black Friday. I bought like 5 games, but I'm looking at my count right now, and physical games, my count is 308. Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of games.
yeah, 308. But that's ranging from like Super Nintendo,
Sega
NES.
Genesis. When I was broke, I couldn't picture this.
Yeah, yeah, that's ranging from like those eras all the way to like now. So
you can trade those in GameStop for like
$10. Yeah,
all 300.
I get like $30 for all 308.
Yep, 10%. You want to know my count?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I feel like he's about to blow you out of the water.
As I look at it, you know, this is just movies. 1,269.
Hell no, I don't have that much.
So when you said movie room, you really meant like that whole room is probably filled with movies, huh?
Yeah. So here you go. Here's a tour. It's gonna be delayed as fuck though, but
yeah.
So that's one shelf behind me. Let it catch up. I'm still grabbing the camera on your feed.
That's it. Damn.
So that's a whole.
Oh, you got those. What are those? Clip speakers.
Nice.
Yeah. So got all that over here. I got. It's coming. I swear. That's what she said too. And I got all this the extras sitting on top because I have no more shelf space.
Yeah.
And then all right, I'm gonna slowly turn this way so the camera can.
Nice.
So here we go. Look, it's turning. There it is. I got that whole giant shelf right there.
Shit. That's a wall of movies. Damn.
And then
trying to like lean in and see what I see.
Then they got all that over there in the back.
Oh hell yeah, man!
And then
I would have a field day in that room.
Way over here in the corner, it's coming. Yeah,
oh man, you got the projector and everything.
Two shelves.
That's a pretty nice setup.
Oh yeah, it's a little theater room. That's badass.
Yeah.
So I know the audience won't can't see the video, but you know, Rob's got a nice little movie room here.
Yeah, that's just pretty on point.
Yeah, it came with the house.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Shit, we was gonna try to build one or whatever, but didn't have to. We just looked up like that. This is my wife's house. I just live here. Cause this was when we moved, because we used to live off of 1960, and we moved over here. We on the north side in Spring, and this was the very first house we looked at. And you know, in the whole time that we've been together 11 years. She's like, whenever we buy a house, she's like, I want a pool, and I just want to build us a movie room. So this is the first motherfucking house we come to, and what do they have? A motherfucking movie room and a goddamn pool. So
all the work taken out.
So I was just like, okay, we are shopping at this point. You know, I mean, this is the first house we've seen. You know, it just so happens it had the things that you want. And she's like, I love this house. I was like, okay. So, I mean, but we got like 5 or 6 more to go see.
Yeah.
So we go to the second house, and that place had a pool as well. And it had some spaces to where we could turn it into a movie room or whatever. And, you know, in my opinion, just me speaking, I think the other house that we seen, the second one that we looked at, was better than this one. You know, just the way it was laid out and everything. Same amount of rooms.
She's behind you. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I know she gone. She could have got me and drugged me off or whatever, but y'all wouldn't have seen it for like another 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's just the layout of the house and the way it was set up and everything. I really dug it and everything. I mean, they even had a pool over there as well. But she went over there, she seen it. She's like, I want the other house. I was like, but we still got like 4 or 5 more houses to see. She's like, I'm good. This is fine for me. And
no, we don't.
Yeah,
That's a wrap.
Yeah.
and that was it. She was done. And then most recently, we almost caught this motherfucker on fire.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't none of our doing per se, I don't think anyway. Woke up one morning, and I usually, you know, I get up before her, and I would go into the closet or whatever, because like the closet, you had to go through the bathroom to get in our closet. And, you know, in the morning, I get in there and I do my fitness. I go do my push-ups in there and everything. You know, got to keep it right, keep it tight for Mrs. B. Rob. And I get down, start doing my push-ups. I get up, my socks is damp as fuck, and I'm like, what the hell?
Oh.
So I'm feeling around on the carpet and everything. It's like damp in certain spots, and I look up at the ceiling. I don't see nothing on the ceiling. So I was like, fuck it. Like, go upstairs, go into the little attic thing, drop the ladder, crawl in there. I don't see nothing dripping. And then I come back downstairs in the living room, and all I hear is like, shh. I was like, what the fuck is that? Walk out to the front of the house where the half bathroom is next to the garage. Open up the little bathroom door. Shit is just pouring out of the motherfucking ceiling. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Oh my God.
Then I run in the garage, because it's on the other side of that wall in that bathroom is the hot water heater. So I go in there, fucking ceiling above the hot water heater is just pouring water. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
So I turn the main valve off for the hot water heater. I turn the flame off for the hot water heater. I cut all that shit off. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And everything is just drenched in the motherfucker. Then I still had to go to work. I couldn't call out. So I called the warranty people, and they sent a plumber out there, and I went to work. My old lady sat there with him and everything. And so this is what puzzled and perplexed me. Obviously, to me, you know, looking at it, I don't have any plumbing experience, but common sense told me that there was a problem above the hot water heater, because the wall, because the ceiling above the hot water heater was just where the bulk of the water was coming from, and that shares the wall with the half bathroom on the other side. So that's why that shit was leaking as well. So I was like, all right, that's where the issue is. So when the motherfucking plumbers come out there, they don't cut a hole to see what's up there over the hot water motherfucking heater. They do it like 3 feet the other way. I'm like, okay, whatever. But then they go into the half bathroom, and they just took the whole ceiling out of that motherfucker. And they found a pipe in there that was just like, it had a pinhole somewhere in one of the fittings, and it was just like skeeting water, just like a steady stream of water just shooting into the wall. So they ripped all that out, put new pipes in there, sealed it up real nice, and they fixed that problem. It wasn't leaking no more. So what did I tell you I did when I found that the water was leaking above the hot water heater? What was my process? I want to see if y'all was paying attention.
I'm pretty sure you say you shut off the main valve to the water heater.
Yeah.
You turn off the flame.
Yeah,
exactly.
Flame. Exactly. Remember that thing. So
you never change your socks?
No, I left them motherfuckers on the floor and wet in the bitch. Cause look, let me tell you what I did with them socks. I found the damp spots in the carpet and I took my socks off and I put them on those damp spots so my wife would know.
It's like the market.
I was like, it's wet over there. It's wet over there. I found like an old Christmas bag. I was like, I threw it on another spot over there. I said, those are wet spots. Don't go over there. So, all right. I did those two things to the hot water heater. So the guys test the pipes before they left. What you think they did not do?
Turn on the flame.
They didn't turn the flame back on. They didn't turn the main water that was coming from the hot water. They didn't turn the main valve back on. They didn't do none of that shit. So they did a test with the water that was currently coming into the house. So nothing was happening. No leaks, no nothing. So they fucking left. My wife has no experience of lighting a hot water heater or none of that shit like that. And she chose not to fuck with it. So when I got home at 7:00 at night, after they left at 11:30 that fucking morning, I get home, relight the fucking pilot, turn the main valve on. Baby that was just in here, she go upstairs to take a bath and shit. And damn, like 5 minutes later, all I hear is go back in the motherfucking bathroom. Ceiling is crying again. I was like, what the fuck? So I go back in there, turn everything off again, call them bitches up. I was like, hey, motherfucker. I said that internally. I didn't say it out loud because that's rude as shit. I was like, this shit is leaking. Again, you just fixed this shit, right? He's like, oh, man, I'm sorry, Mr. Robinson and everything. I had the motherfucking owner on FaceTime and shit, showing them shit. Like, look, motherfucker. And
look at how many socks are on this bitch.
I'd had to buy a whole fucking bundle of socks to mark all this shit. So, because we never encountered an instance to where we had to shut the main water coming into the house off. So I wasn't sure what the pipe was and everything, the valve. So I had him on FaceTime and he was walking me through it. He's like, do you know where your water meter is and your pipes? And so he was giving me the whole fucking rundown. Find the thing, cut it off. So they sent somebody out the very next morning. Before they got there, the restoration people came. The people that's like, hey, this is what we're gonna do to dry your shit out and, you know, get rid of all this old fabric and all this other bullshit. They whopped me over the head with an estimate. So that's what that is.
Yeah,
then the motherfucking plumber show up again and they get up in the ceiling, and this time they cut over the hot water heater like they should have done in the first fucking place.
Yeah.
And they looking up in there. The plywood, they went up there, they cut that part of the ceiling out. Then they had like a piece of plywood corkboard that runs along the side. So they had to cut that open too to get access to some more pipes. So what had happened was the flume, the big metal silver pipe thing that goes up from the middle of the hot water heater that carries all the heat and the steam and from the flames and all that shit, you know, it goes up, it ports out of the top of the house, you know, get the steam out. So this one, it doesn't go straight up. It goes up, does a 90-degree to the left, then it goes up and out the house. Well, somewhere along that bend, that straight on that 90-degree, the motherfucking shit came loose. So all that heat, all that flame, and all that bullshit that was coming through that pipe, it started burning the motherfucking insulation. It started burning the motherfucking wood up there in the goddamn crawl space.
Shit.
So my house was on fire for a brief moment, but the only thing that saved us is that it melted the fucking plumbing pipes, the PVC pipes that carry all the water. So all the water that it came out of those melted pipes put the fire out.
Oh, wow. Holy shit.
So, yeah. So I'm glad it happened, I guess, because the water saved me from the fire, and I would rather deal with water than the motherfucking fire.
Than being on fire any day. Yeah, I agree with that one.
So, yay.
I wouldn't have noticed it. I'm not handy at all, so that shit would have been on fire, fucking water everywhere.
Damn, that is nuts, man. I almost caught my parents' house on fire completely by my own fault. It was one Thanksgiving morning. It was a really cold Thanksgiving that year, and I was taking a shower, and in the shower that I was using, we don't have my parents didn't have any insulation, nor did like, there was no vents for like the actual heater it was just a cold ass shower.
Yeah.
Put it that way. And so what I would do is I would take like the little external heater that we had.
Oh.
Shower. I would put it not in the shower with me, but I'll put it in the restroom while I'm taking a shower so I can kind of heat up the room. And, one day after I got dressed, I just left my shit on the floor and I left the heater on. And so my whole family's outside and we're frying up a turkey. And then my dad turns around and he's like, "Is that smoke coming out of the window?" And we open up the back door and a fucking just cloud of smoke just like comes out. Luckily it didn't get like extensive damage. It was just like the cabinet that held the sink that kind of like caught on fire, but nothing else. So thank God. But yeah, I felt so bad.
Like before, like, when I got home and I turned the water on and I lit everything, I thought everything was cool. So I'm looking at the holes they put in the ceiling and everything. I was like, all right, man, this ain't too bad. I can fix this shit. I just give me one sheet of plywood to take care. I mean, not plywood, drywall would take care of all these holes they made and everything. And then, we cool. Yeah. So then that shit happened. And now like one whole wall in that half bathroom is gone. Most of the ceiling is gone. So, I mean, I can see into the closet from the bathroom. So I'm like,
the only thing I can think of speaking of fire and stuff like that. I remember being a kid and I went to Home Depot with my dad and he had to get some batteries and some wiring for some project he was working on. And at one point he was talking to somebody and he told me like, "Hey, go put this, the battery and stuff into the truck." So I go and I take the two bags. And I'm like, "Why they got me carrying 2 bags? I'll put them all in one." I threw everything in the same bag.
Oh no.
I threw it into the car and I went back out to like do something. My dad ends up like getting back to the truck and like the bag is on fire. So like I'm sure like what happened was like the things touched and short circuited inside that plastic bag. Yeah. And just caught fire in the center, like on top of that little console part. Yeah. Luckily he showed up in time that he like threw it out of the car. But yeah, the whole car would have been on fucking fire. He hadn't like came. I didn't know it was a thing. I was like 9. I was like, "Well, they got 2 bags." Boom, it was the same one.
Yeah, motherfucker thought he had a hit out on him and shit. Looked like a motherfucker put a car bomb on his shit.
Damn. Yeah, I guess that day I learned about short circuits and things like that.
Oh man,
my electricity lesson.
All kind of pyro and shit in this motherfucker.
Yeah.
But damn, as far as podcasting go, I mean, we got a little bit of how you all came to, we got your genesis, your origin story and shit. But what do you think about podcasting as a whole since you've been podcasting?
Oh man, I for the most part, not for the most part, I definitely enjoyed it. I had my kind of like worries about it at the beginning because I'm more of a, I'm kind of like a little more. I don't want to say like timid or anything, but I'm not, I guess speaking on like mic, I get a little more nervous, I get like kind of, I'm not going to know what to say. And like, for me personally, not only have I enjoyed being able to talk about, the topics I like, we talk about all our interests, but I feel like it's really helped me kind of open up and be a little more comfortable and just in general helped out with just kind of speaking, even if it comes to like interviews and things like that.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of been like a big thing for me. Also, every once in a while, we've been around for about a year, and we do have some listeners and stuff. So it's good to hear that like some people can relate to things we've said, or that one thing you said like really hit me, and I know what you guys are talking about. That always feels good. Yeah, that like somebody out there like feels like they can relate to you, or make somebody's day.
Yeah, definitely, and just to kind of echo that, like I said, I always kind of wanted to start making content and start sharing that for people. But I've always liked, I guess, making people's day a little bit better. So like with our show that we do, we just try to be entertaining and try to be funny enough to where we're fun to listen to, know? And I think like that's like in podcasting in general. And I think that's the beauty of it is that there's so many podcasts nowadays. Yeah. If you have any sort of interest in anything, chances are there are 30 podcasts to go with that interest.
Okay.
There are at least 30.
Now, with that same sentiment and everything, do you think that's a hindrance as well? I mean, the oversaturation of podcasts?
I think so. To be honest with you, like oversaturation can always be a hindrance.
Yeah.
You know, oversaturation of whether it be a certain genre of something. You know,
Superhero movies.
Yeah, very similar with movies, with movies, with music, any sort of medium or any sort of, I guess, like entertainment. So entertainment sort of medium. So, like, I can see oversaturation being a thing, but I think that with podcasting, there can be oversaturation, but a lot of the times what I've kind of noticed is that some podcasts, they'll get started and then they'll just stop.
Yeah, they'll fizzle out.
Yeah, they will fizzle out. I mean, you know, like I said, we've done 49 episodes, and we've taken a little break, and we're coming back with season 2, kicking it off with episode 50. And, but we fully intend to keep going with it. I think we're committed enough to just bring in new ideas. But a lot of the times, there's a couple of other Nothing Special podcasts. Yeah. But they have like 1 or 2 episodes under the belt, you know? And I think that while there is oversaturation and there's so many podcasts, I think it's really the commitment of the producers of those shows to kind of stick with it. Yeah. And what you'll find is that that commitment's just not always there.
Yeah, and like I said, that oversaturation thing, and I think something that helps with probably most people, definitely for me and Pedro as well, is that while we want to grow the podcast and, you know, have it be as successful as, like, you know, it can be, like, we both have our jobs to, you know, we're not dying if, like, we're not starving if this thing doesn't, like, blow up. You know, we can be patient with it and, you know, be in it for the long run and always keep going with it, you know? Yeah. So we work hard at it, but, you know, we have, it's going to be here, you know?
Yeah. And also too, like doing like podcasting just in general. I mean, we've gotten to meet a lot of new people that we both like. I mean, we're, you know, on your show now, and just little collaborations like this, I really enjoy. I really appreciate, because you kind of get to learn something from everyone. Yeah. Like I said before, Southside Collection, those guys really helped us out a lot, and they've been fully cooperative with everything that we wanted to do with them. So that's all really cool to me too.
All right, cool. I mean, as far as the podcast market and everything, do you ever feel like, you know, compelled to, as a podcaster, you know, you creating your content and you know, you kind of doing what you want, but do you ever feel the urge to kind of like veer to where the more popular thing is, you know, trying to incorporate that thing into your show just to get it, you know, out there to make it more well known?
So, I mean, as far as I think like that goes, we already talked about, like, you know, let's say movies and games. That's one of the most kind of talked about things. Yeah. So it's kind of it's been our passion, you know, growing up. I've always been about games, and his thing has always been games and movies. So, I mean,
I think we're lucky in that sense, because a lot of the times those topics are always going to be in sort of circulation. Yeah. You know, I mean, like even this week, I mean, we got we got the video game awards happening tomorrow. And then I know, like, if we were doing an episode this week, we would definitely talk about that. We talk about the new Captain Marvel trailer that just dropped.
Yeah, which I did not watch.
Oh, dude, you got to watch.
No, it's not. It's not.
You're not interested or what?
No, it's not the fact that I'm not interested or whatever. I like to go into a movie that I really want to see, knowing as less as possible.
You're doing God's work, sir.
So I feel like me and Pedro have been trying to, like, we've been talking about that for a long time. We think, like, a big thing we talked about before is that we think trailers show too much. Yeah. Or that they'll, like, you know, it's they obviously want to show, like, get people in the seats. Mm-hmm. But in doing that, it's like, oh, man, you're showing too much, you know? Yeah. And so we've talked about that, like, oh, no more trailers. Like, I'm not going to watch that. But the second they drop that Avengers 4 trailer, I'm gonna watch it. Like, even though I don't want to and I want to go in fresh, I can't help it. Like, I just want to see it.
See, it's like, if I have no choice, then I have no choice. Because, like, you know, if you have any social media like Instagram, Twitter, or even Facebook to a certain extent, you know what I mean? You're going to have that one friend or somebody that you follow blasting the shit out of that motherfucker, you know? And I'm like, fuck! Because it's like me. Because, like, I try to watch wrestling week to week. And like if I don't watch it Monday, I try to catch up on the replay on Tuesday. But I pull up my motherfucking Twitter feed to do business or whatever, retweet the show and all kind of shit. And I follow wrestling fans, so they showing GIFs and clips and highlights. I'm like, fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That sucks.
And this guy's really like bad. Well, not bad. I guess it's good. He can see a trailer a lot of times, and he's just like, "Oh, that's the last scene right there. Like that's how it ends." And then I go see the movie, and it's like, "Damn, he was right." Like,
see, I can always tell. I can always tell when they're showing way too much, and like anybody could tell you that Aquaman, that 5-minute Aquaman trailer, it's a fucking disgrace. Like does Aquaman look entertaining? Yeah, it does, but don't give me 5 minutes of footage for a trailer. Like that's insane. And then, like, while I will say Venom was such a huge surprise.
Yeah, it was. It was.
I had so much fun watching it.
We trashed it on here. Well, before we saw it, we were just like, that looks terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a good ass time watching that.
Yeah, we called that so wrong, along with like everybody else.
Yeah. The only issue I had with that movie was the use of the word symbiote.
Symbiotes. Yeah. Well, that like they couldn't say symbiote.
Yeah.
Because of Marvel.
Because of things.
Because of that whole fucking contract thing. And then the only reason they made it PG-13 is because Sony's trying to kind of nudge them to bring him into the whole new Spider-Man universe that they're building.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, even if you look at that movie, man, it was like, it didn't seem like a PG-13 movie. It had a little edge to it. Where motherfucker biting heads off and shit and everything.
Yeah. I thought that last fight was incredible. I was watching it. It was something about like the way they're morphing out in and out. But the way in the trailer they show that part at the end where he bites that guy's head off at the gas station or at the little convenience store.
Yeah.
And we were watching the trailer and he was like, "That's how the movie ends. Like he's gonna be in the convenience store. He's gonna bite that guy's head off, and like that's gonna be at the end." And I'm like, whatever. You don't know what you're talking about. Like end of the movie. I mean, for those who haven't seen it, my bad. But that's what happens.
But that's what happens.
Yeah.
It was in the trailer. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like. God, trailers are the worst sometimes.
Yeah, I just don't fucking watch them.
I'm gonna try.
Yeah, try. It's like it's like No Nut November. But it's back more to podcasting and everything. Do you think that is a hard market for people like us? What I call us is independent podcasters. I mean, we're people that's starting from scratch. We don't have any celebrity tied to us. We don't have any acclaim or anything, thus far and anything. We're just trying to make our way and trying to figure out, how we want to morph and change and evolve this show. So do you think it's harder on us than it is anybody else that do podcasts?
So I have an idea of that because I've actually thought about this too. So I think, if you're going to do independent anything, you're always going to be sort of at the short end of the stick, whether you're starting your very own YouTube channel, whether you're starting your very own podcasting, all of that. If you're doing it all yourself, if you're doing it independently, there is going to be the challenges of that. But it's like you said, for the people that have a following already and people that have those celebrity ties, it's like which side of the blade that you want to be on, because for those people that do have those ties and have a following, I feel like there's a little bit more pressure on them to come with whatever they're going to do, whether it be videos or podcasting, to have a very concise idea of what exactly they're going to talk about or what their show is going to be about.
Yeah. Because
their following is expecting something. So like if you get a guy that's like all about cars, like his Instagram is all about cars, or his, and all his followers know him for that. Well, that means if he wants to carry those followers over to something, everything that he has to do from that point on has to be about cars, because that's what his followers like.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like that's where it's a little bit better for us, because I mean, we're very small YouTube. We're a very small network, nothing special podcast, and I think with us, that gave us the opportunity to kind of grow our show and to kind of evolve into what we think we like doing with it. Mm-hmm. And so that allows our follower base to kind of grow with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's kind of what I like about it.
yeah, I guess like there is maybe like we're a step, like, you know, we don't have the celebrity attachment or anything, so I guess you start a step behind. But I think you know, so guys like us, our big thing is we got to get known. You know, we have to find a way to get people in, and once they're here, there's no like name value to it. So if somebody else is like, there's a soccer podcast I listen to that like ESPN has like a feed, and one of the podcasts, it's like 2 or 3 podcasts that are all hosted on the same feed, but they're attached to the ESPN name. So you already have that name recognition that if you go into it, oh, it's ESPN, you know, I'm in, you know, well, no matter what, if you like it or if it's like, eh. Whereas like we got to make sure that like we're gonna, you know, be ourselves and find a way to get people coming back, you know, be entertaining. So maybe I think we kind of put a little more effort into it, or we find a way to like, oh, we got to get them hooked, you know. You can't just rest on any kind of like old kind of thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, just to think about it, I was thinking about a couple of things while y'all was talking. It's just like, I feel like celebrities, they are kind of a slave to their celebrity, you know? So if they wanted to do a podcast, I mean, there's very few that, fall under this rule, but I'm thinking it's just like they're a slave to their sponsors. So they got to talk about certain things, you know, even if, you know, they don't really want to, but motherfuckers paying them money to do so. So, I mean, they kind of, you know, attached to it that way. I mean, then you got, what you're saying about consistency as well. I mean, they are celebrities. So, I mean, they're going to be doing other shit and they might not be able to do podcasting all the time. Cause I like Hannibal Buress and he has a podcast, but this motherfucker put out an episode like every month or, you know, or whenever he can, you know? So, I mean, there's that aspect to it as well, to where, I mean, shit, I go to work 12 hours a day. Then I get off. And I try to schedule people for 45 minutes after I get off of work, so I have enough time to kiss my wife and slap the kids around and shit and put them to bed, so I can come up here and fucking record with somebody, you know. So it's just fucking crazy. And what I've noticed more recently is that I think other people are seeing that too, like sponsors and just people who are making things that are catering to podcasters. There's a app out there called Anchor, which is which is totally fucking free. You know, you can download this thing and you can fucking make your podcast, and they even got to where you can get your own intro music. You can do graphic arts for it and everything, all within this app, and it's completely fucking free. And they even help you with ads and sponsors and everything now. So, I mean, there's a change coming because, I mean, there's interest in people other than celebrities. Because, I mean, we're going to hear about them regardless if they have a podcast or not.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, there's, you know, us out there.
That's one thing I will agree is that the interest for podcasting is definitely growing. Yeah. Like, it's definitely on the way up. I feel like in the past, I would hear about podcasting, like, you know, from a couple of friends here and there, maybe every like couple of months. Now, podcast, like you talk to anybody and they'll tell you like 5 or 6 podcasts that they listen to. And see, and it's weird in a sense too, because I mean, podcasting is a medium that has been around. No, it's been around for like 10 plus years now. Yeah. But people are just starting to know about it now. And still to this day, 2018, over 10 years later, there's motherfuckers that don't know what podcasting is or what a fucking, how to download the motherfuckers, how to listen to it. I love explaining like to my family members, what like, I host a podcast with a friend of mine. And they're like, what's that? I'm like, fuck. Well, I mean, it's like, I'm kind of like, it's like a radio show that's not on the radio. We're talking. And they're like, oh, okay. So can I like call in one time? I'm like, well, nah, I mean, like we don't like, we're not live. We record our show. They're like, oh, okay. I understand. And then I see them just nodding their head and walking away. I'm just like, no, please. Like, but listen. Yeah, but listen to us. I'm pretty like in tune with like technology. I'm not super like, you know, I'm not as in tune as you are.
But I feel like I heard about podcasts, for like you said, like 10 years. It wasn't until like maybe like a year and a half, 2 years ago, I was like, oh shit, there's been like a little thing on my phone this whole time.
Yeah.
I could listen to these like shows.
Yeah.
And now I can't imagine like a world where I'm not listening to podcasts all day long at work or, you know what I mean? So
within the time frame of me finding podcasts and making podcasts, I find that I listen to that more than I listen to music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most definitely.
Especially because the way music is now, that's a whole other kettle of fish. So. But I mean, it's interesting, man. I think they're starting to cater to us more, but at the same time, when you have a new not such a new medium, but a medium that's becoming more popular, there's the scammers. Hey, I'm a podcast promoter and I can get you 10,000 listens in a day if you just give me $30 or some shit.
So many DMs.
We were at a bar like a year ago.
Yeah, dude.
And it was weird because we were just sitting there with a friend of ours. And this guy comes up. He's like, "Hey, you mind if I sit here?" And he sits down.
Literally, just comes out of nowhere. Just shows up. He's like, "Hey guys, you mind if I sit with y'all?" And we were like, "Yeah, okay." It was me, Frankie, and one of our friends.
And then he grabbed a sausage off your plate.
No. Not this time.
Yeah.
So he sits down and he's just like, "Hey, man, I'm what's going on? What do you guys do?" And then we didn't even say anything about podcasts, but he was like, "Oh, that's cool." He's like, "I'm trying to make like a radio station that talks about what people want to listen to." And at a certain point, he starts talking about how he's part of like some kind of website that hosts podcasts or something.
Yeah.
No, yeah. He was essentially like, I'm really bad about telling people to like fuck off sometimes.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Because I feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad for them, so I'm kind of like, fuck, man. All right, like I got 15 minutes. Like, give me your spiel. Just what are you trying to essentially sell me? And what he was literally telling me was that he had this grand master plan how he's gonna have I'm gonna have this radio service where you're gonna be able to listen to music only you want to listen to at any time. I'm like, I mean, that kind of already exists.
Hey, you're late to the game, man.
I was like, kind of already exists. I mean, I have an app on my phone that does it for me right now. It's called Spotify.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether or not he like believed me, but that's what he was talking about. And like, this wasn't just some like random drunk dude. Like, he brought out.
He went to his car and he came back.
Yeah, he's like, no.
Catalog.
He's like, look, I have this like binder with me, and he like brought this binder out. I think it was like this thick. It's like 1.5 inches to 2 inches thick, and it was just like so many pages of like how this network's gonna work and sponsorships and all this stuff.
Yeah. And it was like different like packets too.
Yeah,
like you could do the so and so packet where we host you for like a year.
Yeah, where you can host like we can host your podcast. I know you said you had one and this and that, and I was like, what the fuck?
It felt kind of creepy. It kind of felt like he knew somehow he knew that like. But who knows? Maybe it's just like podcasts become so popular that like you just sit and talk to somebody, and most likely they'll have some kind of site or some kind of thing.
Because it seems like nowadays you can just throw a brick and hit a motherfucking podcaster, you know?
Honestly, yeah.
Because I went to Raw Monday and I sat next to a fucking podcaster.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, we was talking about wrestling and everything because we had a motherfucking wrestling show. He said, oh man, you like wrestling, right? I was like, no shit, motherfucker, I'm at a wrestling show. And he's like, yeah, man, you should listen to our podcast. It's on the back of my shirt. And he showed me his shirt and shit. I was like, well, I host a podcast too. And I put a business card on my pocket. So, I mean, you ain't special, motherfucker. I do it too.
Yeah, so I mean that's what, like you said, I guess there are a lot of like people looking to maybe trying to make their money out of it.
Yeah, but I think too that's also I see it as like a good thing too, because that kind of that'll get you as like a producer of your podcast to kind of think of ideas and how you can differentiate. Different. Oh my god, how can you make your show different from everybody else? And so that's why I was saying earlier, like. With season 2, we fully intend to kind of incorporate a lot more videos, not only of our shows, but just videos on topics that we're going to be producing separately. And we're going to be posting on the Special Network on our YouTube channel, as well as doing some live streaming events, for video games. And, hopefully the idea is to just be consistent with it and grow our listeners. And then, you know, we can do like a meet and greet or something one day, or even just a meet and greet of podcasts, you know, like
like the one you missed out on, motherfuckers.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
It snuck up on us.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird. Cause like, I mean, as being someone that wants to create content or just, you know, express their creativity, you wind up doing what you're talking about right now. You know, all right, what you're doing now is just not enough. I got to add another layer to it and everything. And I find myself doing that shit because one, I do this. This is the main podcast. This is the flagship. So now I love professional wrestling. So now I created a wrestling podcast. I don't do it consistently as this one because I do this one every week. But, you know, when I have the itch to talk about wrestling, it's there to facilitate that itch. So, I mean, I even put it out there like, hey, motherfuckers, I ain't gonna be doing this shit every week. I'm gonna do it when I feel like it, you know?
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of pressure off of me. So I'm not sitting here ping ponging back and forth between shows trying to, you know, tire my fucking self out.
And then you also, you started another one with your wife, right?
Exactly. She came to me with it, so I couldn't turn it down.
Oh, hell no.
I was like, you want to do a podcast? I'm all in. I started doing the graphic work. I started setting up the server on my website and everything. I almost bought a domain name for it, but I was like, fuck that. That's too much. Cause that's what I do with the wrestling podcast.
Is that one about us? My bad, man.
Now go ahead.
Is that one about a certain like topic, or is that just like a you and your wife like banter?
It's going to be banter at first. And, you know, I got to give them props again for this. They gave us the title of the show. She wanted to do a movie review podcast because obviously we like motherfucking movies, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So Travis and Jody B from the Po Boys podcast and Travis from the freaking Wheelbarrow Full of Dicks podcast, they pitched the name The Real Robinsons, like real REEL. And I was like,
oh, yeah.
I was like, man, that's a good ass fucking title, you know? So I couldn't pass that up. I even put it to a vote, you know, with a couple other names and everything. And that one won the poll. But even if it didn't win the poll, I probably would have went with that one anyway. And like,
oh, hell yeah.
Took it down and be like, yeah, it won. But,
really good.
So we went in and we, sat in here and tried to do a pilot. We went see Creed 2. So we was going to review Creed 1 and Creed 2, you know, just talk about it and everything. So
I haven't seen that one.
So the dynamic between B-Rob and Mrs. B-Rob is I'm random. I fly by the seat of my pants. You know, I don't plan anything.
Yeah.
She has to have a plan.
Oh,
she writes it out. She scripts it. She does all that shit. So we go.
She gives you the rundown.
Yeah. So we go in to do the pilot, and I'm just being me, and she did not like that shit. She did not like that shit. She wanted to stay on topic. She wanted to stay talking about Creed because, like, we talked about Creed 2 and Creed 1, and I was making the analogy of like how Michael B. Jordan's character in these films, it kind of was a starter for Killmonger in Black Panther, because Creed came out before Black Panther, and it just reminded me of that because, you know, he started calling Rocky Unc, and then he go to freaking Wakanda and he calling T'Challa's mom auntie and shit. So I was like, yeah, this was prep work because the attitudes are similar, you know. And I was just going on that tangent, like how I was comparing it to fucking Black Panther, and I started, you know, talking about that stuff, and she's like, she did not like that. She was like, no, we talk about motherfucking Creed. This ain't goddamn Black Panther review, motherfucker. I was like, oh. So after we recorded it and everything, she's like, I don't think this is going to work.
Oh, damn.
A short lived.
So no, not just a movie review. She's like, she's just like, we just need to do where we talk about us, you know, relationship stuff and parenting, and, you know, just where we can talk about everything. So if we want to talk about movies, we can talk about movies. If we want to talk about this, we can talk about this. Pretty much my show with her, you know, but she's going to give me a little more guidance and everything. You know, so I'm going to be on a leash for the most part or whatever. So
it takes a little dedication to always stay on topic too, especially when you're doing such like a weekly thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you're, especially when you're doing it with somebody you like, I'm doing it with my best friend here. So if we're going to be talking about something and it just sparks another conversation.
Yeah.
Most likely we're gonna go off in that tangent.
You eventually kind of forget that you're recording, I guess.
Yeah.
Just going back and forth, talking shit, and then you realize, oh damn, like you said, we started at one movie and now we're like 10 movies away.
Yeah. So what I've got a feel for from recording that pilot episode that will never air to the public, unless you join the patron for the Random Realms with Rob, and you can get that exclusive content as a part of your patronage. But recording that episode and recording the episode that's out now, I pitched a 30-minute format to her, and she dug that, that it was kind of short and to the point. And what I'm tracking for the whole thing is just like, she knows that I do this. She said that I'm pretty good at it and everything, but she wants to do the show, but she's relying on me to do the show that she wants. So in essence of this whole thing is just like, I can do the legwork. I can sit here. I can set up the recorder. I can do the graphics. I can do the behind the scenes shit, but I need you to do the show. Cause like, I got her doing the intro, which, if you hear it, it's just like, hello, this is it's very professional, and she using a professional voice and shit or whatever. So and then about halfway through the episode, started talking about The Rock and shit, big muscly motherfucker, and then you can hear her true voice, like it was like a normal conversation, because before then it was professional, and she's just like, yeah, this is the Real Robinson's podcast, and yeah, just trying to be all proper and shit. But we started talking about The Rock and all these other muscly motherfuckers, and she was like, oh yeah, I was just like, I remember the first time I seen The Rock, he was a little chubby and everything, her true voice came out, and I was like, she don't sound like a man though, but I'm just saying the comfortable build. But so I kind of know now what I need to do and everything. Yeah. So I got to kind of steer the ship per se, but she's still the captain.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I'm outside in the little dinghy pushing the motherfucker, and she's steering. But I think it's going to be cool. It's just timing of it wise and anything like that. Cause like that, whenever I feel like doing a wrestling show and, putting it in with her and everything, boing, boing, boing. But, we'll make it work. I know we will.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'm looking forward to hearing more episodes about that one.
Hey, so you say you come out, you have your episodes weekly, you have them every week, but you also said that you work 12 hours a day?
Yeah. So the way that works, what I found that works for me is I stack them. This is the whole stack thing for me. So like yesterday I recorded, which you'll never hear it because I didn't press the record fucking button.
That's right.
And then I record with you today, and then I record with somebody else tomorrow. So since the show is weekly, that's 3 weeks out of the month already taken care of.
Yeah.
And then I'll take a week off, and then I'll record 3 more. So that's the next 3 weeks into the next month.
Damn.
Because I have content consistently every week, but I'm not working every fucking week. So, I'm not burnt out, That's why I kind of pitched that to y'all, but y'all got different circumstances and everything. So,
yeah, definitely not.
Yeah. I think we thought about it sometimes, but yeah, like I say, it's a little harder for us.
Yeah. It would work in the sense if y'all had like do special episodes or whatever, like, hey, today we're only talking about this fucking video game. And then you just go into the whole franchise of that game when it started, different games, if there's more than one sequel and shit. So that's a special episode. Then you can have another episode that same day to where y'all just bullshitting and doing things as normal. So, that could work for you as well.
Yeah.
So,
that's not a bad idea at all.
So
we all tired and shit, but left.
Yeah, be like, Donkey Kong Country. But yeah, I find more so that doing the podcast stuff or whatever, I feel like I enjoy the process more than the actual podcast itself, because like I found what I want my podcast to be. I want it to be a platform for other people. Like, so you guys are trying to get your name out there. And if somebody knows me and, you know, I have this little bit of a, you know, momentum behind me, just a little bit of claim behind me, I want to share that with you. So I want you to come over here and be like, hey, talk to these people over here too. And now these people know you. And it just, you know, I'm sharing.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. Yeah. I mean, we totally appreciate that too. And, you know, I think it goes without saying that we'll definitely have you on our show as well. We're gonna need you in person.
Oh, okay.
Gotta get you on camera.
I'm down with that.
All right. Awesome.
Cause I mean, I think I've only done 1, 2, not counting the freaking Walmart stuff. So I only did 2 podcasts in person since I've been here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we did the one at the meetup that you were not at. And, we did,
doesn't forget.
Yeah. And then we did one, with me, Joe Moffitt and the female comedian I was telling you about earlier. We sat in a hotel room for 3 hours getting drunk, recording. So it's a 3-hour podcast floating around with all 3 of us on it. But yeah. So, I mean, what I like to do is when I have guests on or whatever profession they are in, medium that they're in as far as podcasting, sports, acting, or whatever it is, where do you see yourself in the next 2 to 5 years with your brand, or where would you like to be in the next 2 to 5 years with your brand?
Oh man. Why don't you go first?
Oh, hit me. All right. You put me on the spot.
Surprise, motherfucker.
All right, put me on the spot. All right. I mean, ideally, I guess if I was thinking about it, I'd like to be in a situation where maybe we're getting some kind of, like you say, you have like a sponsorship, or maybe somebody has recognized us in a way that's, you know, we're not trying to, you know, like, we're trying to be successful with it, but I'm not looking to make big bank right away. You know, it's not the main goal, but it'd be nice to get like something to help us
sustain itself.
Put the show out.
Yeah, sustain.
Yeah, put the show out, make sure that it's always like the best we can put out. And I would hope that people are kind of looking to us to like, oh, I can't wait till the new episode of the special comes out. I want to hear what they have to say about this new game that came out, this new movie that came out, you know, and maybe more interaction with like a larger like listenership.
Yeah,
I think that'd be cool. Like a lot more back and forth with them.
Yeah, that's exactly that's sort of what helped us kind of start the show, is that we kind of had that same goal in mind. And, you know, that just goes back to, I know I sound like a fucking broke record, but that just goes back to kind of expanding what you build upon. You know, we got the Special Network on YouTube now, the YouTube channel, the Twitch channel, and it's just putting our names in all these mediums, but also making it cohesive enough to like people, our audience will be able to find us and just have a good time with us. Like,
yeah,
we want to have a community of people that listen to us, but we also want that community to be like a decent community, you know, like a group of people that just like having a good time, like talking about the stuff that we talk about, and just enjoy listening. And like I said, if we can make their day better, if we can make them laugh, that's what keeps me going on it too, is that we're entertaining them.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, I think we're going to go ahead and wind it down right here. But before you go, let everybody know where they can find you on social media. I mean, you said it a couple times, but give it to them proper like. Definitely.
So for anybody out there looking for us, you can find us on Instagram at notthespecial.com. Same thing with Facebook. Just search for notthespecial.com. Not the Special Podcast on Instagram, Not the Special Podcast on Facebook. We can also find us under the same name on Twitter. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitch. All Not the Special Podcast. You're able to search for us. You'll search for our beautiful logo of black and blue with the blue circles, neon circles.
I mean, it's nothing special, you know.
Exactly. There you go.
I think you said it way at the top of the show. This is a little side point, but you said at the top of the show, you said you were in the military. I just want to say thanks for your service, man.
Oh, definitely.
Well, thank you for your support.
No problem.
Yeah. So I think we should name this episode. What the fuck is that name?
What the fuck is that name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another
Fits
special
perfectly.
episode.
Yeah.
This is
The Wet
nothing.
Socks episode.
Yeah. All right.
I'll probably think of something else, but
Yeah.
But once again, gentlemen, I thank you for giving me your time and hanging out with me and everything. And definitely we're gonna come together locally and do some things in the flesh.
For sure, man.
And,
For sure.
that sounded dirty as shit, but I'll bring my wet socks. So
yeah.
Just bring those. We're all good.
But as with every guest that's been on this show, if you've been on once, and the door is always open for you to come back to promote what you're doing next or just the bullshit, man.
Awesome. We appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thank
it means
you so
a lot to
much.
us.
And that was the guy. I hit my mic stand already. Sorry. And that was the guys from the Nothing Special podcast, not to be confused with the No Redeeming Qualities podcast, both of which are local Houston podcasts. And I've had the pleasure to talk to both sets of individuals who run these separate and different shows. But yeah, give them a try. You can find them on iTunes, Stitcher, and all those other places that you listen to podcasts. Cool people and whatnot. Maybe I can get one of them to build me a computer or something crazy like that. And you heard the story once again of how my house almost burned down, but the water elements saved it. And now tomorrow, I'm recording this on Saturday, so tomorrow morning people are going to be in here reconstructing my house and making all kind of noise and dirtying my clothes and everything. So it's going to be cool. Ain't no problem. So, appreciate you for listening and everything. And, let's go and wrap this up because I got plenty of other things to do. There's 2 new episodes of Wrestling is Trash that are in the queue to be edited and put out, featuring Nick Anicelli and King Ajar. And part 1 of a 2-part series on the Real Robinsons. Part 1 is out right now. Part 2 will be out Wednesday. Wednesday is the chosen date that we picked to release new episodes. So every Wednesday we're going to try to produce a new episode of the Real Robinsons. So this 2-part is pretty much talking about the journey life dealt us to find each other, because I'm from Lake Charles, Louisiana. I'm at the bottom of the map, and she is from Danville, Virginia. So she way up there in the northeast corner and everything. So I just find it fascinating that 2 people from different sides of the country can somehow find their way to each other, So yeah, we'll be exploring all these different aspects on our new show, The Real Robinsons. And the new episodes of Wrestling is Trash. One will be our top 5 picks for wrestling theme music. And then we'll also have predictions for TLC 2018. It's tomorrow as I record this now. So look forward to how wrong my predictions may have been. We had some good conversation about what we would like to happen, but WWE doesn't really do what we want to happen, so whatever. But let's tie this on up. You can follow me on social media at It's B-Rob. That's ITSBROB. If you want to talk professional wrestling and other general shenanigans, that's the place you do it. This podcast can be followed on Twitter at 3R Show. You can follow The Real Robinsons on Twitter and Instagram at The Real Robinsons. That's DA Real Robinsons. And you can follow Wrestling is Trash on Twitter at Wrestling Be Trash and on Instagram at Wrestling is Trash. You can send voicemails to either one of these shows that I'm promoting right now. If you want some relationship advice or ask me and Mrs. B. Rob any type of questions, you can send a voicemail just like Hoppy Rogers did to 304-825-5762. And if you want to email your questions for Wrestling is Trash or The Real Robinsons or whatever show you want to send questions to, you can do that by sending your emails to mail@randomrobcast.com. Or for the wrestling show, you can send it to mail@wrestlingistrash.com. I know I threw a lot of things at you, but yeah, that's a lot of stuff, but whatever. You can find the bulk of all the things that I just mentioned on randomrobcast.com. Also, you can find different ways to help to support the show by buying merchandise through my merch store at wehavemerch.com. You'll find the links for all that on randomrobcast.com. Also on randomrobcast.com, you'll find some of our sponsors like Studio Headphones, to where you can save 15% off your order on some quality headphones if you use promo code ROB15 or 3R Show. It doesn't matter. And you can find links for Hooks, Rubs, and Spices on Etsy.com, where you can get 10% off your order, $6 or more, if you use the promo code 3R Show. Also, you can get a high quality fashionable bag from Gaston Luga. If you go to gastonluga.com and at checkout, use promo code 3R Show, get you 15% off a nice quality handbag from Stockholm, Sweden. And you could be a patron to the show on randomrobcast.com, and you can click the be a patron link and you can help support the show. Help support the shows. Your patronage doesn't just go to the Random Rounds with Rob. It goes all across Wrestling is Trash and now the Real Robinsons. So you can be a patron for as little as $1 a month. I couldn't go any lower than $1. Try to do 50 cents. Doesn't work that way. So support the show any way you can. But the best way, the most important way that you can help support the show and any other podcast that you listen to is liking, subscribing, retweeting, being interactive on social media with our accounts. 5-star reviews. If you would, if you have anything below 5 stars, leave some constructive criticism so we can make these shows better for you. And, that's it. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you next time.